Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what you will hate about truck driving. So I get an awful lot of people messaging me saying they want to be a truck driver. Oh, I'd love to be a truck driver. All of these young kids, okay? So, I mean, I wanted to do this video as a sort of a balance, you know, because they see me every week driving the truck and they think it's a great job. I'd love to do that. How do I become a truck driver? So yeah. I put out a question out on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter yesterday asking you guys to comment what you as drivers don't like about this job. And I was surprised at the amount of comments that came in. So yeah, I'm just doing this video just to show all of the people out there that really want to become truck drivers. They think it's so great that, yeah, it's not all that great, guys. So we're just going to go down through some of the reasons why you will hate being a truck driver. So let's start off with the hours in this job. There are very long hours. I mean, in a week you'll be doing 60 to 70 hours easy. If you were to calculate that into your wages, what are you at? The minimum wage? As a truck driver once said to me, as long as you continue to climb up those steps to your truck, that is as far as you're ever going to get in life. That came from a truck driver. So, are you somebody that likes to do foreign trips, living in a truck all week, maybe for months on end? Well, it doesn't matter how big your truck is, it will become very, very small in a short period while you're stuck in it. And yeah, facilities, I've heard comments there from people complaining about toilet facilities at places, and an awful lot of comments on RDCs, retail distribution centers. Now, if you've had the experience of delivering to these centers, you'll know the people in there are not really that pleasant. So I've experienced this, and not only in those places, but in numerous other places, just very unhelpful people and disrespectful to drivers. So this is something that you're going to experience when you become a truck driver. And it's all very fine saying, oh, I'll be careful now who I choose as a haulier. I'll be very picky. I'll make sure I go to the right one. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. They're all the same, right? Okay, I've been with Rory Lynch Transport all my life, okay? So I haven't experienced other companies, what they're like to work for, but from what I'm hearing from numerous other drivers, nothing changes. So you're still getting long hours, you're still dealing with disrespectful people. Don't get me wrong, you will experience a lot of nice people and a lot of nice experiences while truck driving, but yeah, it is a couple of those people in a day can really ruin your day. So I'm doing a groupage day today all around Cork. I've got multi-drops and I'll be doing a few collections as well. And if any of you do groupage on a daily basis, you'll know that it's not really the best truck driving job to be in. You know, there are a far lot handier jobs than doing groupage, but as you can see, it's not always groupage I do. Sometimes I do containers as well, and they're handy. So you will get your easy days and bad days in truck driving. So when I go to truck shows, this is a funny thing, right? You'll see these parents with their kids, whether it's their son or daughter, and you can see them going around the trucks and they're all enthusiastic and wow, I want to be a truck driver, and then in the background their mother or father is doing this to me. It ain't happening. So they're bringing them to the shows and they're loving the trucks, but their parents are saying no, they're never going to be a truck driver. And I was even sent a message from a young man whose father is a truck driver, and he himself wants to be a truck driver, but his father is putting him against the idea. So he messaged me for advice, should I become a truck driver? And I'm not going to stand between any father and his son in that decision. So I just had to message him back. Look, you have to think long and hard if you want to get into this job. There's no point me giving you advice to become a truck driver, spending all those thousands in training, and then discovering that you don't even like the job. So, you know, it's a risk, you know, so don't think that you're going to love the job. That's number one. And number two, of course, you are going to do a bit of damage in your time, either to trucks or to whatever's on the road. That's just inevitable. This takes a bit of concentration, guys. Whoa, whoa! Too far, boys, too far. There's going to be some damage. There's going to be a day also where you'll pull out of the trailer and you'll forget to undo the Susies. And that only happens to the experienced truck drivers. All of you guys out there that are saying, oh, that'll never happen to me. No, no, no. I've never pulled out of the trailer leaving the Susies on. Yes, it'll happen you one day, guys. Believe me. Been there, done that. So what other topics do we need to cover? Oh yeah, let's just talk about some of the courses that you have to do when you become a truck driver. Number one is the elephant in the room. You know what I'm going to say, the CPC, Certificate of Professional Competence. This thing, guys, as I said before, it just makes me want to fall asleep. Well, it actually does when I'm doing one. So yeah, I've done 11 of them now, and yeah, they're just such a waste of time. You can make an argument for it for new drivers, but definitely not for experienced drivers. To me, it's just a waste of time and a waste of money. So yeah, that's one day in your life that you'll never get back for every year. So let me just pull out here. Yeah, so that's just one thing. And then we have to do an air freight course. We have to do that as well for carrying air freight. And what other course? Oh yeah, the HazChem, of course. I have to do that hazardous chemicals course. And yeah, you got to do a refresher every 5 years. And it is very costly. Say, for instance, if you want to get the HazChem course, it is going to cost you a lot of money. Especially if you want to do tanker work. I do groupage work, so it's a bit cheaper getting that HazChem license. But yeah, it's not easy to pass the test either. So just keep that in mind. Do you want to do your hazardous chemicals course? I would think that it is a definite advantage to have it, but it's up to you whether you want to spend the money. Now, some companies will pay to have the HazChem license for you to be able to do the course, but other companies won't. And some companies will pay to have your driver training as well. So if you do want to become a truck driver, but you don't have the money, some companies will pay for your training. And, oh yeah, somebody made the comment as well, but how do I become a truck driver if companies are only looking for drivers with 2 years experience? Well, that has to do with not only the company wanting experienced drivers, but it has to do with insurance. It's the insurance companies that are requesting that these new drivers have 2 years minimum experience. So, yeah, it's kind of tough when you're starting out like that, but you know, you just have to go to your local transport company, get your rigid license and start off that way. Go to a company that have rigids and articulated trucks and start driving the rigids first, and then once the company is confident in your abilities, then they'll put you behind the wheel of an articulated truck. But you know, so many young guys or young girls or whatever are just they just want to get to the Arctic. You know, what do I have to get to the Arctic? You know, like, just take your time, work up from the rigid and then get to the Arctic. That would be my advice. Don't be rushing to go off and drive an articulated truck. Start off with the rigids and just get a feel for the truck, the size of it, and then make your way up to the articulated truck. Don't be in such a rush to get behind the wheel of an Arctic. So another topic there. Oh yes, let's just talk about the industry in general and what hasn't changed. Even from when, back in the 80s, when I was a kid helping my father in the truck. Nothing has changed in terms of custom clearance and releases and the whole palaver about them and the delays you'll get if a clearance is wrong, if a number is wrong. The amount of delays that I've had because clearances have been wrong is just absolutely ridiculous. And you have to have clearance and releases if you're to collect any air freight at all. This is what you have to have. And you also have to have them if you're collecting out of bonded warehouses. So yeah, there's always some issues with clearances and releases when it comes to freight. So a lot of drivers wouldn't experience that because they don't do customs clearance and releases, but we do it a lot in this business. And yeah, it is quite a pain, all right, which is why I would love to have a printer in the truck to be able to print off clearance and releases. So when I arrive at these places, I actually have the paperwork and I'm not waiting ages for more paperwork to be sent, because a lot of these places we go to, they won't print off an email or clearance. They just won't print it off. So you have to arrive in with the papers. A lot of places will, but some won't. And yeah, it's all to save money on paper. Literally saving money on paper. But anyway, what other topics did you have? Yeah, we've covered the RDCs and the driver training. Oh yeah, are you working in a company and you are working with lazy drivers? Lazy drivers. Well, it's the drivers that will actually do the job properly and efficiently that actually end up getting more work. And the lazy drivers end up getting less work. So I'm sure if any of you are driving for a big company, you have definitely experienced this. And it is something all of you new drivers will also experience. And then there's favoritism between drivers and who gets the best runs, and there's all that going on as well. And I mean, a lot of transport managers don't really have a lot of respect for drivers. A lot of you will also experience that as well. So that's just some of the things that will happen in this job, and you may be in the unfortunate position to find yourself in a protest, a trucking protest, whether it be in some other country, and you'll be pulled up for days and You might even have your load damaged or tampered with. So yeah, I've spoken to a few drivers who have been stuck in protests and had their whole load damaged or thrown out onto the ground. And yeah, that's very tough to be stuck in that situation. Okay, so we're just coming into Mallow now, and I just want to tell you about a breakdown I had very close up this road, and it was a bearing that went on fire on the tractor unit on the front left wheel. So there I was with my heavy container going down to Tivoli Port and made my way around this roundabout. Now we do have a fire station on the right hand side that will come in very important in a while. But anyway, there I am coming up to this roundabout, and when I slowed down at this roundabout coming ahead, a big cloud of smoke came out in front of the truck, and the first thing I thought was, I've got a blowout, there's a tire, there's something on fire, what the hell is going on? And I pulled in just in front of the roundabout. This Mallow Road roundabout is a disaster, by the way, as well. Whoever designed it. Look how narrow this lane is here. Look, I literally have to go over on the far side of the road. Just wait for this car just to get around this bend. Idiots, whoever done this roundabout. So anyway, coming off this roundabout, I pulled in right where that JCB is. I pulled in right where he is. I just need to get past him. And I hopped out and I saw the wheel on fire. There was literally flames coming out of the passenger side front wheel. So I got out my fire extinguisher and I was blowing my fire extinguisher into the wheel, but the flame kept popping up. I couldn't extinguish the fire and kept blowing it in, and it kept popping up, and I said to myself, I'm in a real big problem here now. This is serious. So Ballina Transport. So I don't know what I would have done had it not been for the fire engine, would you believe, that drove around that roundabout, saw me with the fire extinguisher and pulled in front of my truck and got out, and like military, these guys were out, no questions asked, out with their hose straight up to me, and extinguished the fire on the wheel, on the hub. So a huge thanks to Mallow Fire Service. If any of the guys are watching, that happened to me a number of years ago, and if it wasn't for them, I would have been in serious trouble. I would have had to, who knows how long I would have been waiting, but they were actually on their way to Cork the day that happened. Nobody called them to say that I was on the side of the road, because at that stage there was no real smoke coming from the wheel, so people passing wouldn't have known what I was doing, parked on the side of the road. But when they extinguished the fire, the amount of smoke and steam that came out was just, it covered the whole truck. And then of course there was people driving past and all the rubberneckers. But yeah, that was a really bad experience driving a truck. But yeah, you will experience many similar things throughout your driving, and it's all part of driving trucks. And yeah, it's tough, guys, but you just got to get on with it. It's just like any other job, isn't it? And I thank you very much for all your comments as well. I got a whole heap of comments in. Can't really read them all, of course, but thanks for sending them. I'm just flashing them up throughout this video. There's one of our drivers on the left there. I hope he's okay. Yeah, I hope he's all right. But yeah, so there I'm going to leave the video, guys. If there's anything I missed commenting about truck driving, make sure to comment below. I'm sure there's something I missed. So yeah, comment below and let me know your thoughts on this video. Should I do a video on the good things about truck driving? That might be a very short video. It might be a short one. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you all there. I need to get into Cork and continue on with my deliveries. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you all again next weekend for another video. So until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Cheers! Then of course, course, don't forget there is the RSA, there is the DVSA, traffic checks, police checking your truck, driver's hours, your tachos, infringements, ending up in court.